So it's 20 days now before I leave for Oberstdorf. Here's some of the trophy. I know some of these are my fitness ones, but here's some of the trophies for the adult competition. For a while, they were doing these like cups for free skate, right? So that was like free skate trophy, right? Then they were doing these sort of interesting diamond things that same year for artistic. So they did a different one for artistic. All my special achievement pins, which you do not get for ISU. Now they're kind of sticking to these balls. So they kind of, and they'll do different colors. So like this is the women's event. So see, it's got like this flower. These are both first place. So they're the same size. They're a little bit bigger. And then the pairs had this like blue. And then if you got like second or third, because I got second in artistic and first in free skate for singles, it kind of looked like that. And it's funny because I actually got first in free skate and second in pairs also that same year. And they're just a little bit smaller, but they look the same. But my very, very, very first year that I went to Oberstdorf, I did Masters Elite and for singles, and they looked like the pairs one from 2 years ago. So they change it up, and then now the logo has changed. So this was second place artistic last year, and it's got a little bit different. So they're kind of different. And then that's like what it looks like. So those are my Oberstdorf ones. And then like Masters game. And then I got fifth in free skate. So I got, or fourth, and I got one of these. So anybody fourth and below gets one of these. It's not just fourth and fifth. Like if you got 30th place, you get one of these. So that's what I got last year. It's like participation thing. And then they give you a little thing that like says what place you got. Now here's all my medals. A lot of these are US figure skating though, but let me find some that are ISU. This was the Masters games last time. It was like wood. It's kind of crazy. So there's that. And the Masters games the time before that. So it looks like very pretty. I actually like most of the ISU medals better. Like look at this one from Nashville. It's like really, really cool. Nice ribbon. But then even this one was from Vancouver. So that one's pretty cool too. So this one from Lake Placid was also an ISU. Huge. So see, it has a little ISU logo. They changed that logo though. So I have all my first place medals up here. These are all medals that I got as an adult skater. All right, just so you know. This is my very first adult skating medal right here. I got first place in Masters Junior Senior Singles Open event at sectionals. That was my very, very, very first one. All right, and then all the rest of these are all as an adult too. Now I have a couple bodybuilder ones, but they don't give those very often, so I only have a few of those. But yeah, most of these are all figure skating. And I have a couple first place at US figure skating championships and sectionals, but most of my sectionals and nationals are second. I have a couple thirds, but a lot of seconds. I tend to really like second place at those qualifying competitions, just saying. One year, maybe I'll win a sectionals, but literally I qualify almost every year by getting second, which isn't bad. I'm not gonna complain, but it's just funny. And then here's my messy closet with all my costumes in it from years past. Lots of costumes. If you're looking for like dresses, I do have some dresses and costumes that I am not using anymore. And I have some like really, really like fancy ones. Like this one's like really fancy. And this one though is going to cost a ton of money because it's got like so many crystals on it. And I just dropped my Game of Thrones one, but there's this one too. So I have so many costumes. If you wear like an extra small women's and you're interested in costumes, let me know. But here is my office space. The swords. That's the funniest thing ever, that they still give swords for fitness competitions. I've retired from fitness competitions, so if you follow my Instagram. Okay. So I had said that I was gonna make this video a little bit more about the traveling to get there and about like what to expect more than skate, because you need to know that kind of stuff too. And we're getting close now because it's less than a month now to when I'll be there competing in about a month. Maybe a little less actually, because yeah, a little less, because we'll probably compete at the end. They tend to put the bronze skaters more towards the beginning, and then they move it as they go, but they do switch between what goes first with artistic and free skate. So don't always like think, oh, artistic's first. When I first started doing them, it was, but last year my free skate was before my artistic. My artistic was on Saturday, so, or Friday, whatever the last day was. It was Friday last year, because they moved it also. Saturday used to be the last day, now Friday is, so then people have more time to travel for the 2 days, which is nice. So the competition's Monday through Friday now, instead of Tuesday through Saturday. I did show you the medals and the trophies. The medals are from like, you know, Masters games and stuff. Oberstdorf always does trophies, which is kind of cool because you don't get trophies that much anymore, but they will check it if you take it through your carry-on. They will go, what the heck is this? And they will pull it out and they will ask you what it is. So just so you're aware of that, you could wrap it up really good and put it in your check bag. It'd probably be less of a problem. As far as traveling with your skates, I am from the US, so this could be different everywhere, but leaving the US with skates in your carry-on is totally fine. You can go all the way to Europe with them in your bag. And if you do like a connection and have to go like from Paris to Munich or wherever your connection is, they're usually okay with it also. Now, on the way back though, I did have one problem, not through Germany though. So if you fly out of Germany, you're fine, but I flew out of Zurich one time. So I took a car to Switzerland because the price was just so much cheaper. And Switzerland does have a problem. You cannot have them in your carry-on. You have to check them. And I found that out when I got to the, you know, the TSA part, and I had to go all the way back and check that bag. So just so you do know that, check ahead of time where you're flying in and out of. But if you're leaving the US, you will be able to take them at least there. You might have to, depending on where you're flying out of, check them on the way back. Germany though, Munich, you're fine. So if you're flying out of Munich, you're not gonna have a problem. Okay, so as far as staying, all right, so this is the plan, okay? Now, I normally will share a car or something with somebody. I've never driven there. This is gonna be my first time driving, so we'll see how that goes. But renting a car is not a big deal as far as driving and stuff in Germany. It's not hard. I mean, they drive on the same side of the road if you're from the US, so that's not any different. The signs are pretty self-explanatory. I've been on the roads enough to see that. And the cars aren't expensive to rent. The reason I'm renting this time is because it's summer and the trains are gonna be crazy because certain groups of people, like kids out of school and stuff in Germany, get free train passes during the summer, which adds a whole layer of people on the train. So the train is already crazy because there's only a couple trains in and out of Oberstdorf every day. And like Saturday morning, if you're planning on leaving, there's one train and it's like 7 a.m. and it is nutso. So I just decided to avoid all that and rent a car. And for the whole 11 days, it's like $436. So it's really not bad. And then, you know, you just have to make sure your place has parking, which a lot of Stephanie's places do have parking, but you need to check because I do have a friend that stays more in the center and he says they don't have parking. But I'm staying, and if you've been there before, my apartment this year is totally different than what I've ever gotten. I've normally gotten a little bit out further. You can still walk to the rink, but it's not like in the center of town. This one's in the center of town. There's a takeaway coffee place across from a cheese shop. It's the building directly behind that and up top. So it's gonna be really cool too, because my skating partner's never been there before, and that way he's like in the center of it all. And if you want coffee, that's like one of the only like easy takeaway places, because that's not as common either in Europe as it is in the US. So that's kind of nice too. And if I like it, I'm going to keep it because I have a student that's going to go next year. And she's like a huge coffee hound, like, and she won't drink drip. So like she has to like go out. She's a snob. So I was like, perfect. This will work for her. So anyway, I picked this one though because it had 2 bedrooms. Some of them are really small, like studio type. Some have 1 bedroom.
and then like a living area. If it says 2 rooms, that means just a living area and a bedroom, not 2 bedrooms. So when you're looking, if you see 2 rooms, you think, oh, 2 bedrooms. No, that's not what that means. Because a lot of them are 1 room, which is just like a studio. And the first time I stayed, I did do that. And it was fine. I mean, if you're only staying a few days, but when you're staying like a full week, I mean, I'm gonna be there 10 days. And I'm staying with another person. Like, we want our own space, you know? So I found one with 2 rooms. So we'll see. This is my first time staying there, so I can't say if it's gonna be wonderful, because I really liked where I was staying before. But it was 1 room, and the one with 2 rooms was already booked. So I was like, nope. So I went with this one, and it'll be kind of cool because it's also right next to the Irish pub and the cathedral. So there's a like a church in the middle of town, which does make a lot of noise. So if you can't handle that, I mean, it dings all the time. The bells are always going, and like, depending on the time of the day, it can get a little bit loud. If you're like a daytime napper or something. So try to stay a little further away from that if that's a problem for you. I like it, so it doesn't bother me. My place this year is pretty close to it. But the skaters all go to the Irish pub, which is directly across from that and downstairs. And that Irish pub stays open until people leave. So she will stay open until the skaters want to go. I mean, there's even a sign on the table that says reserved for skating bitches when we're in town. Like, she knows we're coming, and it is like the best hospitality ever for the skaters. It's really fun. So that's kind of nice too, being close to that. But you know what? Anything in Oberstdorf is walking distance. So it's fine. I mean, during the May competition, which it'll probably go back to next year, it does rain though. So you want to make sure you have an umbrella and a good jacket and some shoes that are waterproof, because the first time I went, it did not rain. And I wasn't prepared for the next time when it was like monsoon almost the whole time I was there. So just make sure if you do go in May. I'm not sure about this year, but I think this is a one-off. So I don't think we really need to talk about the weather this coming year very much. The other thing about it is you can rent a hotel, okay? And I do know some people that do that the first time, but it is gonna be a little bit more expensive. And honestly, Stephanie is amazing. So she has, it wasn't directly across the train station, but she moved up the road a little bit, but she has a little coffee shop and breakfast shop, and that's where you check in to. And she had the best hospitality ever. You forget like one of those adapters for a plug, she's got that for you. You know, you need help with the Wi-Fi, they'll like come out and help you. Like, they're just the best. And she basically runs all the sort of Airbnb type things there. And they're just amazing. So if you want to look her up, I'm gonna put her down in the in my comments, like down below my description, a link to her properties, and you literally just go on there, it'll say when they're available, but just send them an email and just let them know, hey, I want to stay for this amount of time, and they'll change your arrangement if it's still available. Like, they had to change because they changed our dates. They were so easy. They will add days. Like, they're just great, and you don't even have to pay till like right before you go. You can always book it a year in advance, and they'll let you know when there's no more cancellations, which is like a couple months out, but then you don't have to pay until you get there. So they're pretty cool people, and so I wouldn't stay anywhere else. Like, I use them I used them the first time because someone else told me, and then now I've just stuck with them. And it's super convenient and easy, and you don't have to, you know, worry about it. And so I would stay with them. A lot of those apartments have garages. The one I have has a parking lot, so that's good. So yeah, I'm renting a car. We'll see how that goes, which will be good because then we can hit up the castle and like go some other places, because that's like something you got to do if you go there, you know. And to do a tour group on that's probably like a $200 euro with a bus trip, and this is just easier. I can just drive. Now I usually always take a trip or something afterwards for a few days with a couple of friends. This year we were going to go to Innsbruck, which I've already been because the Masters games were there, but I can't go this year because I have the Excel series finals for my students directly after. So I'm going to have to like shoot out, go home for a couple of days, and then head right out to Colorado Springs. So I'm not going to have time to, but my partner, it's his first time. So we are going to stay 2 days in Munich, because I've been to Munich before, because that's where the airport is. So I always usually take a day just in case there's a delay or something. He hasn't. So we're going to do 2 days in Munich and go around. I think I might try to go, I know the BMW museum's right there, but I'm not like a huge BMW person. So I think I might take the car, because I'll have a car, and I found a hotel in Munich that I've stayed at 3 different times that actually has a parking lot. So I'm going to be able to keep the car. So I think we'll drive to the Audi museum, because I looked up the Mercedes one. It's in Stuttgart, which is a little far. It's like a 2-hour drive, but the Audi one's only like 40 minutes. So I was like, that might be cool, you know, check out something. So that's always kind of fun to do. And I've been to the Olympic Park, which is good to do. But yeah, the car museums, because I'm into German cars, I'm into that. You might not be into that. But and then I think there's like a couple of markets you can go check, but because it's not Christmas time, you're not going to get all the cool German markets. It's not Oktoberfest, you're not going to get any of that. But the little downtown area, and there's cathedral and all that, it's very easy walking. So I would recommend taking a day or two before or after just to check out Munich if you can. But yeah, it's kind of nice when you get over there to just like go see something else, but sometimes you just don't have time. Every once in a while I have a competition that literally lines up right after it. This has happened to me before, but it was more of a local one, and I had to zip out of there so quick. That's why I flew out of Zurich, and I had to spend all this money to take a car to get to Zurich because I didn't have time for the train because of the schedule, and it was a mess. But this time I found out my skaters aren't skating until later in the week at Colorado Springs, so at least I don't have to fly directly there. I get to go home first and then go. But yeah, so this week's been like a little bit more on the difficult side, trying to stay motivated and focused. I will say that. But I'm holding it together, and I think I'll be okay. My singles artistic's feeling pretty good. I'm not gonna post any videos of skating this 2 weeks, just because I wanted to kind of focus more on the travel. But yes, you can take a train in and out of Oberstdorf. Just make sure when they say that they're splitting cars, you get on the right one, because you could be going somewhere totally different, because it does have connections. So that's one thing I noticed when I took the train. It's gonna be busy. Renting a car is not that expensive in comparison. Yes, the train is cheaper, but I don't know if the hassle's worth it. You pick the car right up in Munich too. Like, it's right at the airport. And most credit cards have insurance through Germany. Now, if you fly out of Italy, or if you get a car in Italy, you have to buy separate insurance. We found that out. But in Germany, when you rent a car, if you have like American Express or any of those travel cards, it covers, so you don't have to pay that expensive insurance. So that's good. Yes, there is the Autobahn in Germany. Did I notice people going 900 miles an hour? No. Like, you just drive with the flow. It wasn't crazy. I even had a Ferrari behind me going slower than me. I wasn't driving. My skating partner at the time was driving, but I kept looking at him, hoping he was gonna like go really fast, and he never did. I was like, dang it. But yeah, so it's not super hard. I think I can do it, but it is, so you know, about a 2.5 hour, 3 hour drive from Munich. So the train is about that as well. It's not the most simplest task to get to Oberstdorf, but let me tell you, once you get there, it's quiet. The birds, you get cows, birds, and a church. That's like the only sound. It is so great. And even the restaurant at the rink is good. Like, the food is good, the hiking is good, the views are good, the sounds are good, the smells are good. Like, it's just good. So I would recommend trying this if you are an adult skater. Even if you just go with your friends that are competing, just for the experience. I do believe it's worth checking this event out. This went super long, and I have so much more still to cover, so I might add some of that in my next videos. Sorry if you're sick of looking at me. I will put Stephanie and the rental service down in the comments, because that's the most important part. But if you have any other questions about like traveling with skates or whatever else, just leave me a comment. Bye.